Hey world, happy Wednesday, happy April, happy live, happy. Okay, I don't know what this TV is doing. It's doing some weird shit. Okay. All right, hold up. Wait. I was trying to pause it. Like, you can't pause this shit, huh? Guess I gotta leave it right there. Hey world, I need to ventilate. I need to ventilate. Oh my gosh. People, people, more so me. I'm more so thinking out loud. I want to come back to this and listen and be like, this is where I was April 1st, 2026. And I don't know where. Like, I can just describe. I wish my sister was here um, physically. I wish Nikki was here physically because see, Nikki knows me. Nikki probably was the closest person to me ever. Um, I did develop a friendship when I went to Buffalo, and that was pretty close, but that was kind of short. Even though it lasted for for I want to say less than like 20 years. But it was short. It was short, whereas we didn't hang out that much. We hung out for like a good maybe 6 months. Then homegirl moved to Buffalo. I mean, not moved to Buffalo, moved to Texas, and then she's been down there ever since. So she moved to Texas. This other person I formed a friendship with, and we stayed in contact over the years, and we saw each other a few times. But see, me and good old Nikki, me and Nikki, we hung out for years. We hung out for years. We lost contact, came right back into contact like nothing changed, nothing, because nothing did, you know. She was at my son's first birthday party. I believe I was at her son's first birthday party too. Like our history was deeper. She knew me deeper. She knew me deeper. And even though I had grown and changed and evolved in many areas, there were certain core things about me that she knew. I'm going to share something. Um, God rest her soul. So she was dating this guy. I ain't going to mention his name, but he was fucking with her. He was fucking with her. And she was a gentle giant. She was a gentle giant. Now she was like me, but different. So she was definitely taller than me. But I don't like to fight, and Nikki didn't like to fight. But I had no problem quickly changing that if I needed to. Whereas she would just avoid the shit, like, and let you have to really, 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 really push her. Me, you just had to push me a little bit. He just had to step out of line a little bit for me, you know? And I don't know if that's because she had a sister that was like me, Karen. She had a sister that was like me. And so she had big sisters, like real blood sisters. Me and her were more so kind of like adopted sisters, you know? So it was different. So I didn't have that. I was only child, so I didn't have nobody to stand up for me. I had to stand up for my god dang on self, you know? So, I think that's why she was the baby. And then she had another sister that, again, it didn't take much. They was on it. They was on motherfuckers' asses, you know? Quick. Kim, that's the other sister. She's still around. So um, yeah, we had a situation. This guy she was dating, he was trying to bully her. I was like, fuck this motherfucker. This motherfucker bully you. Her sister had put the motherfucker out because he tried to disrespect her in her sister's house. We were in Brooklyn, and his ass was lingering around in the motherfucking hallway. So here come Nikki. We laughing, we joking, we was sipping on. I'm pretty sure we was sipping on St. Ives. Woo, back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days we was sipping on St. Ives. We were drinking malt liquor. Yo, that shit is funny. Anyway, um, we and we young, we laughing, we giggling. We about to go to the store get some snacks and shit. She go down the stairs. That nigga it pops out of nowhere. She quick. She run up them shits. So you already know I got this metal in my body. Even though I was very young, I did not move fast. So I was just like, okay, we about to go at it. And dude had a whole fucking knife out at me. And I'm like, yo, word? Like, we about to, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, word? That's how you feel? Like, I bucked up to the motherfucker. And he got out. He left. I don't know what it was. I want to say at this point, with the knowledge I have spiritually, like my ancestors was like, dude, what are you doing? Like you about to, dude, that's no, not her. Don't you touch her. Don't you touch her. But I wasn't aware of that at that time. And I'm just giving a little background of just me back in the day when I was young and just how I moved. And then I got the motherfucker in trouble. Like, you violated me, you about to get in trouble. So he learned his lesson. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do it the ghetto fabulous way. I did it the right way, and that's how that was done. It was handled. He I seen him afterwards. Some years afterwards, he apologized. He was like, "Yeah, I was wrong," yada yada, blah blah blah. But yeah, Nikki would know. Nikki would be the one for me to talk to, even though I know what she would say. Like, she would be like, "Go for it," and I'd be like, "Girl, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know." So I almost folded yesterday, people. I almost folded because what I'm finding is happening in my life is everything that I like. And it's interesting how it took me getting in touch with different aspects of myself um, to really be where I'm at right now. Because there were parts of me that I was like on a need to what's the word I'm looking for? A need to address is not the word. There's just parts of me that I didn't feel was necessary. And that's not the right word. I knew these parts were necessary in me. They were just some parts of me that were not um, functional within the corporate world, I guess. I don't know how to even formulate the words right now. But there were just parts of me that were dormant, I guess. Perhaps that's the best word. Parts of me that were dormant, but was coming to the light. And I was like, okay, this definitely applies where I'm at as far as my residence. But it doesn't apply everywhere, right? So I wasn't engaging. There we go. I wasn't engaging with these parts of me. They were just there, and they would pop up around people where I knew they get it, and they wouldn't. They get it. They get it. So one homegirl, she definitely, like, she gets it. She gets it. She's there. You know, not saying that she doesn't have the flexibility to switch it up in different arenas, because I know she does. And it just is what it is. Like, those parts, and I enjoyed those parts coming out. Now I do have a family member. Again, we're developing a relationship. Our relationship is getting better. This cousin of mine's, and so I can definitely bring those things out with her because she's right there. She's right there in that flow, so to speak, that wavelength. But as much as love all parts of me, for some reason I've been loving more on that part that I haven't been engaging with. That no nonsense, that vigilant, that tough, that stand my ground, that, like that strong, that strength, my strength, you know? And now that I am at this place in space, I decided to, I made a choice. I made a choice to self reflect on choices I've made and things that I've done. And I decided that as I begin to notice that I'm not the only individual that has different aspects to me. I talk about my spirituality a lot. I talk about my intellect a lot. I talk about my some of my talents as far as my musical talents. Um, I write. That's another one of my talents. I paint. It's a lot. It's a lot that the divine has put into this one me in this incarnation here, and all of it is relevant to where I'm going and who I am here to be. And people hearing about my life and even observing my life, where it is right now, some may consider me to be an underdog. And I could comprehend why a person's perception of me would be an underdog. I'm 42, just getting my associates, Section 8, you know, um, the foster care, the abusive relationships, yada, 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 the teen parenting. Like, underdog is. Underdog could be an accurate description. Like, I ain't even mad. I'm not mad at all. However, I have seen and I know that it is part of my destiny to rise to the top. And am I rising to the top? I never knew like all of the details. I don't know all the details now. I don't. I just know that that's what I'm destined for. And so I go forward. And I would say within the last year or so, um, I met, maybe a little over a year, I met this individual who definitely is not an underdog, but seemed to relate to different things and seemed to genuinely want to do good and all of this stuff. And um, now I don't really know how to perceive them, because even though they have been solid with me, they keep people around them, and I get the whole but they keep people around them that don't align with what um, the important things that are important to them. Like they move funny style, and that makes me question them, because it's like, why you got this funny style person, around you if you really care? This person don't give a shit. This person is just still, I want to say, lost in the sauce. That's what came to my mind. This person is lost in the sauce. Mama is dictating their lives, and they, you know, that's just where they seem to be. And it is what it is. People have to grow at their own pace, and the life lessons that I have learned, I don't wish them on nobody, because not everybody gets out of those lessons. And not everybody turns those things into lessons. Some people turn those things into things that keep them trapped. So I get it. She didn't have the same experiences. Yeah, she grew up in the hood and, that's similar. But she didn't grow up without her mom. And it's good to have a mom. But at a certain age, you have to think for yourself. You have to think for yourself. You got to operate for yourself. And you got to be independent. You got to be independent. I know this might not be the greatest economical situation to be on your own, but I do know that there are different services that are available to support a person in being on their own. But anyway, they ain't none of my business. I'm just reflecting. But I got on here really to vent. I got on here to vent about how I almost folded, and I almost folded because, um, again, I'm seeing a lot of the things that I like. Me personally, I'm seeing those things, and in seeing those things, a lot of stuff was going through my mind. And I was 2 seconds from saying fuck it and bending one of my rules. But I'm glad the ancestors caught me. Corrected me. And I thought, today, that was yesterday. I was like, today I'm fine. Today I'm okay. Like that was yesterday. It's all right. I'm okay. But nope, it is something's happening, people. It's good. All I can say is good. I don't know what it is, but it's good, and I'm grateful. And I'm not gonna fold, you know. But I am going to continue being accountable, continue self-reflecting, continue to grow, continue evolving. That's just a continuous thing that's happening in my life. And I'm doing this really interesting hairstyle right now. Like this hairstyle is interesting like a motherfucker. And I will show it once it's done. So thank you for tuning in to the Super Tea Podcast Show. Have a wonderful, fantastical, amazing week. Peace.